I'm just trying to say thank you, damn it.
I guess I'm just trying to say thank you.
I was just trying to say thank you.
Just trying to say thank you, James.
Hey, I was just trying to say thank you for everything.
Could you tell me what he said? Just trying to say thank you. Let's suppose someone helped you with a difficult task, and you give them a small gift. They say, "Oh, you didn't have to." You reply, "I'm just trying to say thank you." Figuratively, it means you are simply expressing gratitude and nothing more.
Well, maybe I'll take it for a test drive.
Take it for a test drive.
Aaron, maybe you want to take it for a test drive first?
Take it for a test drive.
I'll need a valid driver's license if you want to take it for a test drive.
Could you tell me what he said? Take it for a test drive. You say this when you want to try something before fully deciding on it. For example, you might test a car before buying it or try a free version of software first. This phrase originally comes from the experience of testing a car before purchasing it. Over time, it began to be used more broadly to describe testing anything like software, ideas, or even responsibilities before fully committing.
Always look on the bright side.
How do you always look on the bright side?
Always look on the bright side of life.
No.
Always look on the bright side of life.
You always look on the bright side.
Could you tell me what he said? Do you know what the meaning of look on the bright side is? Let's suppose your friend didn't get the job they wanted and feels upset. You say, look on the bright side, at least you gained interview experience. Figuratively, it means focusing on the positive aspects of a bad or disappointing situation.
Okay, let's get down to business.
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 Could you tell me what he said? Let's get down to business. Let's suppose you and your coworkers have been chatting casually before a meeting starts. Then the manager says, "All right everyone, let's get down to business." Figuratively, it means to stop casual talk and start focusing seriously on the task or work. This phrase is commonly used in meetings, negotiations, or group discussions. It signals a shift from informal conversation to serious attention on goals, plans, or responsibilities.
Get what you get and you don't get upset.
Get what you get, and you don't get upset. And
You get what you get and you don't get upset.
Get what you get and you don't get upset.
You get what you get, and you don't get upset.
Could you tell me what he said? You get what you get and you don't get upset. Let's suppose children are handed random snacks at school, and one child complains because they didn't get their favorite flavor. The teacher says, you get what you get and you don't get upset. Figuratively, it means you should accept what you receive without complaining. It encourages emotional control and acceptance, especially when choices are limited or random. It promotes maturity and positivity in small disappointments.
Go on, get a move on. Go on, get a move on.
Go on, get a move on!
Go on, get a move on, all ears.
Could you tell me what he said? Get a move on. Let's suppose your friend is taking too long to get ready and you're already late for an event. You say, come on, get a move on. Figuratively, it means to hurry up or start moving faster. It expresses impatience and encourages quicker action.
Back in a jiffy.
I'll be 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 back in a jiffy.
Could you tell me what he said? I'll be back in a jiffy. Do you know what the meaning of I'll be back in a jiffy is? Let's suppose you step out of the room to grab something from your car and your friend asks where you're going. You say, I'll be back in a jiffy. Figuratively, it means you will return very quickly.
Some sugar and spice and everything nice.
Sugar and spice and everything nice.
Could you tell me what he said? Sugar and spice and everything nice. Let's suppose someone is describing a sweet, kind, and well-mannered little girl. They smile and say, she's sugar and spice and everything nice. Figuratively, it means someone is charming, pleasant, and full of positive qualities. It describes someone, usually a child, as sweet-natured, polite, and full of good qualities. It can be sincere or slightly humorous depending on tone.
You ain't got a care in the world, okay?
Canadians ain't got a care in the world.
He ain't got a care in the world.
I got a care in the world. Not like he ain't got a care in the world, and who knows?
Could you tell me what he said? Like he ain't got a care in the world. Let's suppose someone has many responsibilities, but you see him relaxing at the beach, laughing and enjoying himself without any stress. You say, he's acting like he ain't got a care in the world. Figuratively, it means he seems completely free from worry or stress. He can express admiration, surprise, or sometimes slight criticism depending on tone.
Kill you. Makes you stronger.
What doesn't
kill you makes you stronger.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, man.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Could you tell me what he said? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Do you know what the meaning of what doesn't kill you makes you stronger is? Let's suppose your friend goes through a difficult breakup or fails an important exam but later becomes more confident and resilient. You say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Figuratively, it means that difficult experiences can help you grow and become mentally or emotionally stronger.
Put the pedal to the metal.
Put the pedal to the metal, good buddy, and we'll...
Left early, put the pedal to the metal, and got here soon.
Put the pedal to the metal, George.
Put the pedal to the metal.
Could you tell me what he said? Put the pedal to the metal. Let's suppose you're running late for an important meeting, and your friend is driving slowly. You say, come on, put the pedal to the metal. Figuratively, it means to go as fast as possible or give maximum effort. This phrase comes from driving, where pressing the accelerator fully increases speed. In everyday language, it is used to encourage urgency, intensity, or full commitment in action.
We'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Cross that bridge when we come to it, won't we?
We'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Cross that bridge when we come to it.
We'll cross that bridge when we come to it, huh?
Could you tell me what he said? We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Let's suppose someone is worrying about a problem that might happen months from now. You say, relax, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Figuratively, it means dealing with a problem only when it actually happens, not before.
We should just play it by ear for a little bit.
Play it by ear, see what happens.
Just play it by ear. Just play it by ear.
We'll play it by ear.
Could you tell me what he said? Play it by ear. Let's suppose your friend asks about the plan for the weekend, and you're not sure how things will go. You say, let's play it by ear. Figuratively, it means deciding what to do as a situation develops rather than making a fixed plan in advance.
Learn.
The beauty of life is you live and you learn.
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 Could you tell me what he said? You live and you learn. Do you know what the meaning of you live and you learn is? Let's suppose you make a mistake at work and realize later how to do it better. Instead of feeling too upset, you say, well, you live and you learn. Figuratively, it means life experiences, especially mistakes, teach valuable lessons.
You have no idea what I've been through.
You have no idea what I've been through today.
You have no idea what I've been through.
And you have no idea what I've been through.
You have no idea what I've been through.
Could you tell me what he said? You have no idea what I've been through. Do you know what the meaning of you have no idea what I've been through is? Let's suppose someone is judging you or criticizing your behavior without knowing your past struggles. You respond, you have no idea what I've been through. Figuratively, it means the other person does not understand the hardships, pain, or challenges you have experienced. This phrase is often used in emotional situations. It communicates frustration or hurt when someone makes assumptions without knowing your background.
I never asked you to do this for me. I never asked you to do this for me. I never asked you to do this for me.
Could you tell me what he said? I never asked you to do this for me. Do you know what the meaning of I never asked you to do this for me is? Let's suppose someone makes a big decision or sacrifice and later blames you for it. You respond, I never asked you to do this for me. Figuratively, it means you did not request their action and therefore do not accept responsibility for their choice.
Just walk away from this.
You can't just walk away from this.
You can't just walk away from this game.
You can't just walk away from this, Catherine. You can't just walk away from this.
Could you tell me what he said? You can't just walk away from this. Do you know what the meaning of you can't just walk away from this is? Let's suppose someone makes a serious mistake at work and tries to leave without fixing it. You say, you can't just walk away from this. Figuratively, it means they cannot ignore the situation or avoid responsibility.
Trusted you more than anyone in my life. Trusted you more than anyone in my life. Trusted you more than anyone in my life.
Could you tell me what he said? I trusted you more than anyone. Do you know what the meaning of I trusted you more than anyone is? Let's suppose someone you deeply relied on shares your secret or betrays your confidence. Hurt and disappointed, you say, I trusted you more than anyone. Figuratively, it means that person held the highest level of your trust, and their actions feel like a deep betrayal. This phrase is often used in emotional conversations. It highlights how important the relationship was and how painful it feels when that trust is broken. It emphasizes vulnerability and the depth of reliance on someone.
I thought we were on the same page on that.
I thought we were on the same page.
I thought we were on the same page about gun control.
I thought we were on the same page.
Thought we were on the same page about this.
Could you tell me what he said? I thought we were on the same page. Do you know what the meaning of I thought we were on the same page is? Let's suppose you and your coworker discussed a project plan, but later you realize they had a completely different understanding. Surprised, you say, I thought we were on the same page. Figuratively, it means you believed both of you had the same understanding or agreement.